Dispositions do you possess that you think will make you a successful teacher?
I think one of the dispositions that I have that will make me a good teacher is respect for diversity. Um, just the whole aspect that I come from a Mexican culture, and I also do regularly visit Mexico. I just see the whole difference between America and Mexico, and it's just made me respect where people come from and how far they can go in America. And another disposition that I have is curiosity. I think I am really curious about discovering new things, trying new food, just the whole adventurous mindset. I'm just really curious about what life has to offer. For example, today, my friend told me to dip my fry in a milkshake because I never tried it, and I thought it was ridiculous, but I went for it. And it turned out to be really good, and so just that curious mindset will take you places if you let it. Another one would be honesty. I think it's very important to be straightforward when handling certain situations so that things don't get misinterpreted. And so that's just another thing that I feel like I can contribute to the students. Another one could be compassion. Just the whole heart aspect of caring for the students and wanting the best for them. I just want the best for the future of them, and it doesn't even have to be in the class, it can be outside the class as well. Another one would be advocacy. I definitely see myself as an advocate. I'm speaking out when others are afraid to, and in high school I was facing issues with my coach, and it wasn't just me, it was other runners, and he would show up drunk and he would disrespect us in a jokingly manner, but nevertheless he would disrespect us. And so I stood up for them, and I made a petition and I brought it up to the head coach, and that way I brought up the situation that they didn't think as a big deal, which was a really big deal to a lot of people. And so I feel like I can bring these dispositions coming in as a teacher.
Dispositions do you need to work on before you enter the classroom as a first-year teacher?
Some dispositions that I have to work on would be, first would definitely be high expectations, just because I feel like in my personal life I have been let down a number of times, and so it's kind of hard to keep some people at a higher standard when you know that they can fail you. And so that's just one thing that I need to work on. Another would be fairness. I just think as people we tend to favor other people, and that's why we have best friends and then we have those acquaintances. And so going into the teacher field, I think I would have to work on keeping everyone at an equal level when you have some kids that disturb the class while others don't, and you know they're there to learn and for just to get better and learn. Another one would be reflection. Definitely one that I would have to work on because it takes extra time to look back at your teaching performance, and also it keeps you open-minded when you accept feedback from other teachers in your teaching style and the way that you portray yourself to the kids. And so it's just an extra push to seek out other people's advice, and sometimes people forget that we need someone else's opinion on how we're teaching to be better teachers. So that's one that I would have to work on. Dedication was one too, because I feel like when things get tough, I can tend to get unmotivated. But sometimes I do just find a way to push on if I feel passionate about it. And so as a teacher, I feel like I have enough passion to move forward, although there is some dedication that can lack that I should work on. Another would be professional conduct. Sometimes I just tend to want to smile and laugh, have a good time, and sometimes that's not the case, and it's not the right time to do that. And so I would definitely have to work on my professional conduct as a teacher. Positions that I think I would need to work on.
What does a professional educator look like and how do they behave? Also, what standards guide their thinking and actions?
So, professional conduct.
Not quite looking like you. You're close. I suggest you make an upgrade. I am your professional clothes upgrader person, butler.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, professional conduct looks more like this, other than how I was dressed before. I think a teacher has to have some level of formal closet, wardrobe per se. I also think that they should have an intelligent level of vocabulary. Also, kind of have a professional relationship with the students, and also kind of not let things get too friendly, too personal when talking to a student, because then they'll get too comfortable and they'll start disrespecting you or just kind of break that teacher-student barrier, which can be dangerous sometimes. Actually, a lot of times. And I just think that a professional teacher should have all the dispositions, as in influencing curiosity, having respect for different backgrounds, having fairness, honesty, dedication, compassion, reflection, and so just any and all of the dispositions are great. What guides their thinking would be definitely morality, having a good sense of morality. Also, just keeping that professional level that I stated before. Their mindset's always just looking for the best in the students. I feel like some teachers can be negative when they look at their students, and so just always keeping that positive mindset. And also sometimes kids that struggle in their subject, not to think less of them, but kind of think that what can I do to help them so that they can get the best of their education, because just because they're struggling in one area doesn't mean they're dumb. Some students have strengths and weaknesses. They all have their own special field, and just because in your classroom they're not succeeding doesn't mean that they're any less than someone who has an A. And so I think those should be in the mind of a good teacher.
How might teacher dispositions positively or negatively influence the psychological development of adolescents?
So, the dispositions definitely do influence students in a positive manner. When they see you being honest, it's just an example. You're setting an example with the way that you're setting those dispositions. So, like I said, when you're being honest, that sets the example that they should be honest as well. When they see that you're being reflectionate on your teaching performance, then they'll be more reflectionate on themselves and how can I be a better student when they see the teacher trying to be a better teacher. As well as respecting diversity, respecting different people from different backgrounds. That will also see, hey, my teacher is not disrespecting us, and that will kind of just set the mood to kind of have a respect for one another. And when regards if a teacher is disrespecting all of his students, then that will set the environment to a disrespectful one. Another one would be fairness, treating everyone right. No student would feel right if you're giving different advantages to other students, and they would just feel like, why is he doing this? Why is he treating me unfairly? And so that's something that a teacher should always have in mind to keep everyone at a fair level. Another one would be as an advocate, if they see the teacher speaking out for the things that are right, that'll motivate students to speak up for what is right when they see a chance to take it. Also when you hold high expectations, if you hold high expectations for them, they will hold high expectations for themselves. And so I think just the dispositions within themselves, they're just all really great for the students. Being compassionate with your work, that can also, kind of transfer into the students when you are very compassionate and dedicated to your work. That will also set an example of how one should keep their work. And so as a student, you just keep in mind and you see the way your teacher's acting, it'll just give you a role model to look up to. And it's way different when you have a positive teacher when they're holding up to the dispositions than someone who is not and just totally doing the opposite and kind of guide them to a wrong path psychologically if you're doing these dispositions in the opposite way. I mean, we should follow these dispositions to lead them to a better development in their psychological paths. And so yeah, definitely I think dispositions help these students in a very positive manner.